This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, it's March 14th, 2011, and you return to confront Cole and challenge him to a match before being attacked by Swagger. What's the plan here, JR? Do you remember this storyline? What's going on with this one?
Well, they liked the interaction between Cole and I, and they saw the fans were buying it. So here's how we can further humiliate these two announcers by taking them completely out of their comfort zone and put them in the ring. And they wanted to get some heat on Swagger, and they thought I'd be a good guy to do that, which I didn't mind doing it. Look, when you're in there with him, you don't have a lot of choices. In other words, you're going to do what you need to do because you can't stop it. He's a beast. And even though I helped him get in the business, and he's a kid I mentor still to this very day, he had an opportunity to get over, and he was very aggressive. And I went through it, and they're setting up a tag match.
Yeah,
that's all it was, set up a tag match. So, but I didn't. Again, same reasons. Somebody else could use the TV time more, but that's not how the creative went. Had nothing. Michael Cole, I'm sure he didn't like doing them either. I blacked his eye, chipped his tooth in that little skirmish. Well, I'm not trained in this area. And the last thing Vince said to me when I went out there for one of these encounters was to lay your shit in, JR. Okay. Now, I didn't go out there with a premeditated thought, I'm going to try to hurt him. But when your adrenaline gets going and you don't know how to throw a working punch, sometimes those rounds go off, and there's little issues there. So
yeah, BMF, JR. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm untrained. And that's another thing. Why would you put two guys who are totally untrained striking each other? I mean, really,
it's a recipe for disaster. Yeah,
it is. And it was pretty much a disaster.
Right. Well, you mentioned it earlier. You get the call, though. You're making the call, WrestleMania. You get the payday. And what did you think of the finish, though? It's the anonymous GM reversed the decision to give Cole the win by DQ over Lawler. And, I mean, it's silly, to your point. Jerry couldn't win his only Mania match?
It's weak. It's weak, Paul. Obviously, it was weak. I thought it was hurtful to Lawler, not on his character, just personally. I didn't think it was the right thing to do with Jerry. And I'm biased, so what? I can't change it anyway, so what?
Yeah.
But they were looking to get more out of the JR and Cole thing. Then they figure out a way, well, we can maybe get Swagger in there. He's JR's kind of protege type deal, Oklahoma boys. And Lawler could help him, just like he helped Mark Henry and other guys that were green and young. So they thought they were fulfilling several needs, checking many boxes. And that's how I looked at it. Hey, folks, it's time to take your podcast game to the next level. And you certainly want to get your almighty push. My God, we have to have a push, right? We'll get that over to adfreeshows.com. Now, I'm telling you, if you're a fan of Grilling JR, adfreeshows.com has the entire episode library, and it's got no ads. 0 ads, zilch, none. Ad-free and on video starting at just $9. Did you hear what I said? $9. You spend more than that at Starbucks, for God's sakes. 2 mornings. But that's not all, folks. We got tons of bonus content, including my after-hours roundtable, where drinking was involved with Eric and Tony. You simply will not find a better value in all of wrestling. Hey, look, don't make me go red ass, because by God, you know I will. Hurry over to adfreeshows.com right now and sign up. And I thank you. Anyway.
You said that you didn't mind being part of the storyline, JR, but he was throwing some serious, and he being Cole, he's throwing some serious one-liners and insults your way. Was this something that he cleared with you? Did you talk about it at all? I mean, or is this just you're just hearing it like the rest of us?
I had no idea what he was going to say.
Okay.
And I really preferred that.
Okay.
Then if I'm pissed, I can react in an organic pissed off way. And it could be real as it can be within the guidelines of sports entertainment. So no, we didn't discuss, okay, now you say this and I'll say that, then I'll make a boo-boo face, and then none of that. There was no rehearsals. We just went out and did it. And apparently at times it seemed like we were doing it too good because we kept getting invited back for more.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about what happens. The Raw after Mania, Cole squirts you with barbecue sauce, and this is all going to lead to you teaming with Lawler to go face-to-face with Cole and Swagger on 2 Raw episodes before a country whipping match at Extreme Rules. And I'm going to read what the Observer has to say here. It's Jack.
I'm sure it's very
Oh,
heartwarming.
you're going to love this. Yeah. Jack Swagger and Michael Cole beat Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross in a country whipping match in 7 minutes, 1 second. Ross worked with a splint on his hand since he broke one of his fingers punching Cole on Raw.
I did.
And Cole had bruises around his left eye from a week earlier. Ross and Lawler whipped Swagger early. Cole came out covered from the shoulders down in bubble wrap. Lawler started whipping him, and he no-sold it because the bubble wrap protected him. Ross and Lawler continued to whip him, and he laughed at both of them. Lawler then decked Cole and pulled his bubble wrap off. Cole tagged out before getting destroyed. Swagger started whipping Lawler, but was trying to make it as light as possible to protect him. Swagger tied Lawler's left wrist to the ropes. Swagger put the boots to Lawler. Cole whipped Lawler a few times and then tagged out. Swagger was beating on Lawler until missing a Vader-style reverse splash. Cole tagged in and started whipping Lawler, who no-sold it. Lawler was about to get Cole when Swagger nailed him with a chop block. Swagger put the ankle lock on Lawler, but Ross made the save with 2 weak strap shots.
What? Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah,
they were weak.
Weak-ass strap shots. Lawler hit the DDT on Swagger and hot tag to Ross. Ross gets the hot tag. Ross whipped Swagger a few times and put Swagger in the ankle lock. Look at you, Mr. Angle here. That spot didn't make sense with Swagger selling, being in pain from an announcer.
Dave, none of it made sense. I'm sorry. None of it made sense, for God's sakes. You can't justify it for any reason. But go ahead. I'm enjoying this.
This is amazing. This is. Crowd reacted to it, but didn't seem to believe Swagger was in trouble. We know. Swagger tagged Cole. Lawler and Ross were beating on Cole as much as they could. Ross whipped him and put on the ankle lock. Ross used the strap for a low blow on Swagger and was whipping him with a strap. While this was going on, Cole schoolboyed Ross for the pin. Ross sold the loss more than anyone on the show sold their loss. He gave it 1 1/4 star. So tell me about being in this match, losing. How happy were you to be in the ring, JR?
I was happy that it was over. Because you're just in a different world out there, and you're under a microscope. There's no nets. There's no redos. There's no stuntmen. There's no doubles. So I was just glad we got through it, to be honest with you. And I know it got 1.5 stars or 1/4 stars or whatever. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It wasn't a negative star, so there you go.
Well, that's great. I can be thankful for that. I'll sleep better tonight knowing that. So, but anyway, it's just, when it was over, I was relieved as hell.
I'm sure.
I really was. And I did break my hand, and Cole's face got a pounding, and for no reason, because it was what we had to do, and it was booked that way. So, and when you get guys like he and I, we have no skills. So what am I going to do? Start applying holes? I applied an ankle lock. Wow. But other than that, nothing. I got nothing. So then you rely on kicking and punching, of which neither are you trained to do.
Yeah.
So apologize later. And that's what I did. Sorry about that. I remember I had to get tetanus shots, or I hit Cole, one of those shows along that period, where I hit him in the mouth. Oh God. And his tooth ran into between my knuckles, and it bled like a hog. And little did I know that was really dangerous as far as infection's concerned. Another human being's bite. And so then I had to take antibiotics and, get the doctor's got to look at it every time you go out there and all this other shit. So it's just one of those deals where it's like, what else is going to happen here? Can we just get out of this cluster and move on? And I think if you ask all 4 guys that were involved in it, they would tell you basically the same thing. We're just glad that we got through it based on who the talents that were in this match. And instead of it lasted 3 or 4 weeks, it probably should have lasted 2 weeks. You shoot the angle, you get a reason, you have the match, you get out of there. But it lasted longer than that because they liked what they saw leading into WrestleMania, and they love Cole's heel banter to good old JR.
Well, JR, unfortunately, or fortunately for you, at Over the Limit, you squirt Cole with barbecue sauce, and that's really the end of the Cole Lawler feud.
I was going to tell you about the other squirting my face in my face.
Yeah.
You know, we hadn't rehearsed that either. So he's supposed to squirt it over my shirt and my coat and all that, and not nail my $1,000 hat with barbecue sauce. So it ruined the hat, but they paid for it. And I got a new hat. And so I still got the hat that's got the stains, the barbecue stains on it. I had it cleaned and all that. They wouldn't come out. So someday on the memorabilia block,
there you go.
You'll know where that one came from. But anyway, I was just at the end of my rope. Well, let's get this son of a bitch over with. I mean, God almighty, we're flirting with disaster here. But he squirted me with that barbecue sauce, and it went in my eyes and over my hat. So now they got to get the doctor. I stumble and to get back to the gorilla position, and the doctor runs over there, starts washing my eyes out because my eyes are loaded with barbecue sauce, burnt like hell, blurry, couldn't see shit, but it burnt like crazy. And but that's another deal. It's not thought through. There's no way you could, you didn't rehearse it. Should you? I don't know.
Thank God it wasn't that Chipotle ketchup. That could have burned him right out of socket.
That's right. That's right. It wasn't
worse.
in JR's barbecue sauce. It had my label on it.
Oh, it wasn't? Oh, sons of bitches. They could at least bought your barbecue sauce and try to give you some business.
For the hell of,
right.
Help a brother out,
Good Lord.
They could have gone to jrsbbq.com as easy as anybody else and got him a case. Would have took care of you.
My goodness, they just went down to Barbecue R Us and just bought a cheap shit and used that, huh?
Yeah, probably.
That's not cool, man. Got to support JR.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.